guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new dragon video. Without further ado, let's get started. We're here at the Graff boutique on Saint Honoré in Paris, France. I was not let in, I didn't look rich enough, I guess. The bouncer was very polite, to be fair. 5 stars to the bouncer. He kindly inquired whether I'm looking for something specific and promptly advised the store is unfortunately full. One day I will definitely spend my million here when I'm looking for something specific and the store is less full. Well, first of all, credit to this person for taking it well, and for taking the dragging well. But this person knew very well. They knew very well that they weren't buying something today. They were coming to look around, take pictures. Guys, I have to say, the amount of like social media influencers who go into shops with zero intention of buying to post videos and content for social media is a lot. Okay. It's a lot. I was talking to a friend who's a businesswoman in Tanzania and Kenya, and I was telling her that I think we might need to next year open a boutique for one of my businesses, which it means going back to retail. And I was like, oh, I don't think I want to go back to retail, but it's really hard to convince people here to shop online. And she's like, oh my God, if you go into retail here, you need to know the amount of people who are just coming to look and to film content. And then I was telling her about what happens in luxury boutiques. And she was like, the amount of people who will be coming in to film TikToks, Instagram videos, because like I said, she has retail businesses, and some of them are like, well, I'm an influencer, I'll bring all these people to your store. She told one influencer, I don't need you to bring people to my store if they're not going to buy anything. Someone had to say it. This person turned up there. They're probably not going to buy anything by their own admission. The person says they didn't look rich enough. We don't know what they were wearing, so it's hard for us to judge whether they looked rich enough or not. But frankly, in a boutique like Graff, I've seen this store before, like obviously on the Rue Saint Honoré. It looks very fancy, looks very high-end, very luxurious. I personally wouldn't go in there unless I was getting ready to buy something that day, or at the minimum, being really serious and being like, okay, I'll come tomorrow. But frankly, I wouldn't go in there unless I was buying something. And it does look very fancy, and people look really well dressed. Like in that whole area, people look well dressed. And I think that's something just worth mentioning. All the times I've been to Paris, when I've been on the Rue Saint Honoré, everyone looks well dressed. So the person saying that they felt like they weren't rich enough, maybe it's because you weren't buying anything. The security guard was very polite and asks whether I'm looking for something specific. That is them trying to figure out, are you buying something today? I said it time and time again to my glamazons who are heading to Paris or any of the cities in the EU. I'd also include the United Kingdom in this as well, even London as well. If you're going to these stores, make it easy on yourself. Thank me later. Just say you want to buy like a ring, a bangle, a bracelet, whatever the jewelry pieces in terms of Graff, obviously. You want to buy something today. I would like to buy a ring today. I want to see the rings on offer. I want to buy a ring. I want to buy a necklace. I know some of you think, oh, that's not fair. It doesn't feel luxurious. You're going to have to get over it because they have security guards doing Jason Bourne interrogations, honey. Okay, he's literally Jason Bourne. The next one is the same location. We came to the boutique with the intention of trying on engagement rings and understanding what I wanted. The essay was unprofessional and didn't inspire our imagination by offering us the smallest diamond size. I mean, luxury essays, honey. I can't. By offering us the smallest diamond size. Just be clear, I'm not laughing at them. I'm just laughing at the essays. Like being, the essays are slick. They do this. And to be honest, Paris essays pull stunts like this all the time. They do things like this. By offering us the smallest size and immediately discussing budgets as if we weren't legitimate, we learned nothing about the brand and I won't be buying my ring from them. Well, I think I told you guys something similar happened to me at the Louis Vuitton Champs store many years ago. Now, when I recall when I bought the earrings from LV, I remember being like, oh, can you show me some of the fine jewelry bracelets? Just want to see. And he was showing me like the really cheap ones that I don't even think are on the website. So I don't even think Louis Vuitton cares about them. And I was like, what about the ones from Blossom? And he was like, he was, we have this word in my language. It means like to be really reluctant. It means guna. Guna means like like, you're so reluctant. I remember telling my husband this story. It's like, he was so reluctant to help and had no interest in helping. And so just laughing, thinking about it, it reminds me of him, the smallest diamond size. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cheeky to show someone like the smallest diamonds. But then maybe the essay feels like you can't afford it, boo boo. You're not gonna buy it, honey. So let me show you the small one that I think you can afford. It's also a psychological test because a lot of people would be offended by being offered the smallest ring, and they'd be like, "Show me other ones," and then out of principle, they would buy the larger ring, which in turn makes the boutique more money. So it might also be like a mind trick and a mind game to get you to spend. Um, Immediately discussing budgets, I don't think there's anything wrong with immediately discussing budgets at all. I don't think it's disrespectful. I don't think it's rude. Graff only makes mined jewelry pieces from mined diamonds and mined gemstones. They absolutely do not use synthetic stones in their business. They do not use lab grown diamonds whatsoever. So discussing budget sometimes is a way of letting people know that we do not have synthetic stones here. There might be people who don't know that Graff do not deal in synthetic stones. There are a lot of people, I've seen this on TikTok, who don't know that Cartier, Van Cleef, Graff, Boucheron, Chopard absolutely do not use synthetic stones. Many people don't know that. So sometimes bringing up budget is a way of just letting people know, like, FYI, these are all mine diamonds. I don't think that's particularly offensive. I think bringing out the small ring, honey, yes, that's cheeky. But I don't think it's particularly bad to bring up budgeting because it does cost money. The next one is the same location. What's going on with this store? My worst customer experience in all of Paris. They didn't even let us access the store, even though I came to buy my birthday present accompanied with my friend. We made a purchase from Riposte, where the customer service is top notch. I've been meaning to go to the Riposte flagship in Vendôme. They have a flagship there. I keep meaning to go there. I'm very disappointed with Graff and the reception policy. They do this to be sure that they're only dealing with people who are buying today. That's what this is about. The fact that they have the security guard asking you questions, they want to know that you're buying, not that you're just there to look around. And again, like, I recognize that I have a YouTube channel. I recognize that I post these videos, but I've been very upfront before that. Generally speaking, like, I wouldn't go to like a standalone flagship store to take pictures and to try things on for content. I wouldn't. I feel like they do get people like this, so that's why they're putting in these policies. The next one is Graff, New Bond Street, London, in the United Kingdom. I was sent away by the doorman who basically looked me up and down and over like I was a tramp, and he said I couldn't come in. It was a Julia Roberts Pretty Woman moment. Thanks for your. Oh, okay. It was a Julia Roberts Pretty Woman moment. Yep. Again, it's just one of those things where, again, I don't know what the person's wearing, so I'm not blaming them before you guys have a go at me in the comments. Again, if it was just me, New Bond Street is really fancy. The UK Glamazons, drop the comments below. So Glamazons who've never been to London before and who are heading to New Bond Street, the British Glamazons, let them know New Bond Street is very fancy, honey. It's giving Mayfair aristocratic money. They definitely have maybe, I think, a certain kind of clientele in terms of like the way you're going to look, the way you're going to carry yourself. I personally wouldn't go to any boutique on New Bond Street. And Hermes is on New Bond Street. I think there's a Dior, there's Louis Vuitton. I wouldn't go to any of those stores looking a mess. Me personally, because I don't want to be dragged. But I don't know how other people, unless they know you. If they know you, you can turn up there looking a mess. The next one is the Cartier boutique in Rome in Italy. Unfortunately, a very disappointing experience. The SA who was assisting us was condescending and rude. She examined me from bottom to top. I was dressed rather casually given a hot day in Rome. I came with a child as well, but clearly she didn't notice my Cartier ring. Once she did, had to change. Unfortunately, it was too late. We were frustrated and left. We were 100% ready to buy on the spot. We were so excited to come to Rome to shop and get a big purchase on our credit card as a treat. But it definitely now won't be Cartier. We were their customers, but I genuinely think we won't be back for a long time. Okay, so a few things here, because this is stuff that I've been thinking about as well. Like I think there was a comment. One of you guys left a comment a few weeks ago on Dragon Video saying you wouldn't go to a luxury shop with a child. No, absolutely, you can. I don't agree. I think you can go to a luxury boutique with a young child, with an infant. My only thing is it depends how old the child is, because I think if you go with a child who's like maybe, for example, right now my son is 7 months, and he's definitely in that phase where he's becoming really fussy. Whereas when he was 3, 4 months, he was just sleeping, and when he was awake, he was very quiet and sleeping. You know what I mean? Whereas this kind of 7, 8, 9 months, he's becoming fussy. Constantly wants attention. I would have to see once I get to Europe for my trip and see how it would go. But me being me, I would personally make an appointment if I had a young child with me. And by child, I mean a young child under the age of 7, I would make an appointment. I feel like if your like daughter or your son is like 10, I feel like that's a 10-year-old, I think, can handle being in a shop for an hour, kind of chilling, maybe with like chilling, playing a game or something. I don't know if you're okay with like your children having tablets. I feel like a 10-year-old can absolutely frankly even a 9-year-old I think could be fine while you're there, trying rings on and so on and so forth, and they could just be sitting there on their tablet, and I think that's fine. But it depends how young the child is. I think in a case like this, make an appointment, because I do think luxury brands do want to be welcoming to mums and dads, because frankly they know if you have a child, frankly they know if you come in with a child. And this is something I was thinking, very few people would go to a luxury boutique with a child if they were not ready to buy today. And I agree with this person. The fact that they brought their child there, that should have been the sign to the SA, these people are serious to buy. Because just like having a small child there with you, you're probably going to be thinking about your child while you're there, so you don't really want to be wasting anyone's time. You just want to be like, hey, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. This was unfortunate. The next one is the Cartier boutique in Rome. The reception was not good. I went in looking for a gift for my son for joining university. I would have preferred to give him a pen. The employee showed coldness in dealing with him and lacked interest, so I left without getting what I wanted. Yeah, again, this is one of those things of, I wouldn't go to a flagship to buy a pen only. I think it would be fine if you were like buying a ring, a bracelet, and then be like, oh, by the way, do you have any of the Cartier pens as well? So it can also be on the receipt with your like purchase. But I think going to like the Cartier boutique in Rome to buy a pen, their pens are very nice. They have some fountain pens there, honey. They look very nice on the website. That could have been something you could have just bought online. I personally would not buy any of those Cartier like pieces that are not jewelry without a jewelry person in the store, at a standalone store. If it was like a Cartier concession in a department store and you're just passing by, I get that, because I feel like the department store like boutiques, we've talked about this before, they know that they get so many people going to come in and spend literally 100,000 euros like in a flash of a minute, because they get a lot of tourist like traffic. Whereas these standalone boutiques, they're very stressy about the things you buy. So yeah, I wouldn't go to the standalone Cartier boutique to buy a pen, honestly. And also there's some great pens at Mont Blanc. Maybe you could just, go to Mont Blanc. They would definitely treat you well. The store management were Nestle rude and uncooperative. I had a Cartier perfume set, same boutique, that I kindly requested to wrap. My request was sharply declined, even though customer service on the phone told me it was possible. The store manager used language such as, we have rigid policies against this. It wasn't possible for safety reasons and ironically privacy reasons. While I did make this purchase, I'll reconsider buying from Cartier again. Yeah, again, this is one of those, lost in translation misunderstandings that happens. I have found that a lot of the times in any company, the people who work for customer service and the people in the store, they don't communicate. So customer service might just be answering on the phone like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Go there, it's fine. They'll wrap it up. You turn up there and they're like, go please. I know you do not come up in here for us to gift wrap your perfume purchase, which to us is pennies. That's what they're thinking, like in the boutique. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm on neither side. I'm just saying, again, I wouldn't go to a Cartier boutique to wrap up a perfume. I don't know what people are doing at these boutiques. It's a standalone store that sells high jewelry, fine jewelry. Come on, guys. Come on. The next one is the Cartier flagship store in Madrid, in Spain. Based on the history of Cartier, the brand grew into an empire thanks to hard work, unique designs, and excellent service. The last one, unfortunately, seems to be lost. I visited Cartier in Milano, well, in Milan, I think she said the Italian way, Milano. The service was surprisingly arrogant and unfriendly, so I refrained from making a purchase. Therefore, I visited Cartier in Madrid and faced the same issue. Consultants are not interested in providing decent help or closing the deal. They scoff when you ask them for something, and they roll their eyes when if you don't know by heart all the jewelry names of the collections. Is this a new low service standard? Is their KPI to humiliate customers? I did make my purchase this time, but the aftertaste was bitter. I have no desire to return to Cartier again. You know, we saw this as well with Harry Winston in the Harry Winston dragging review video that I did a few weeks ago, where like sometimes they test customers, like they want to see like, do you know the names of stuff? Like, do you know the name of this line, or do you know the name of this? I don't know. To me, that kind of feels a little bit like, I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of feels a little bit like, I don't know. It just feels, why are you testing me on this? Like, why am I being tested? It just doesn't feel fair to test people like this. It just feels like you're trying to be annoying and you're trying to harass them as well. The next one is Cartier again. I booked an appointment to look at men's wedding bands. A male with an earphone and a black suit abruptly walked up to us to start the appointment, and he said, "What are you looking for?" Took us upstairs, hurried us through like we're an inconvenience. He was rude and very disinterested. He stopped multiple times through our appointment to relay on a walkie-talkie that he needed to set up the room still for some other clients. That seemed to take a priority over us. We would have bought the rings, but decided, given how impersonal and rude the experience was, we'd take our business elsewhere. Never again. Yeah, you know, we've been through this, guys. We've talked about this before many times on the channel about these jewelry brands, and you'll notice all the dragging brands for today are all jewelry brands. They have a weird relationship with people who are coming to look for engagement jewelry and wedding bands. On the one hand, they produce the product, right? So you produce the product. So why are you so like stressful about selling it? But on the other hand, if you walk in there and you're like, hey, I just want to buy like wedding bands, I think that they feel like you're a one-time person. I think it's in very poor taste for someone who's excited to be buying their wedding bands. They've made an appointment for it as well. And for you to be like, you know, on a walkie-talkie, yeah, I'm just, you know, literally like, yeah, I'm going to get the room set up. Obviously, there's a VIP coming and they're being asked, like, can you get things set up for the next person who's going to spend more money than these people? I don't remember exactly how much the wedding bands at Cartier cost, but I think the Love wedding bands are what, €1,000, maybe 1,500 a piece. So obviously, you know, whatever. I mean, it again, you know, there's really no need to be so like flippant and dismissive about it, because these are products that Cartier makes. I think it would have cost the essay nothing to be like, do you have your wedding bands out? Okay, let me get some champagne, or would you like some tea and coffee? Or something like that. You know, you're getting wedding bands, champagne feels more proper, and you can offer, and if people want to decline, that's fine. But I feel like to be on the walkie-talkie, you know, to just get my phone again, to be like, yeah, I'm just getting everything set up for the people who are coming next. It's like, you don't even care that these people are there. And yes, 1,500 euros, 1,000 euros is really nothing to Cartier, and it makes no difference either way. It's still very rude either way, because the person had made an appointment to purchase those wedding bands. So yeah, tell me what you think about today's episode so far. For me, whenever I collect the dragging stories, I'm always shocked at the amount of people who go to luxury stores looking a mess. I think that's something which is, for me, just like a big thing. Like the person in the earlier story who goes to the Graff boutique on Rue Saint-Honoré in Paris and is blocked from entering because they look a mess. He says, you didn't look rich enough. You weren't gonna buy anything, and you also look a mess. Whereas guaranteed, if you looked really nice, even if you didn't buy anything, they probably would have allowed you to enter. Now, some of you could be like, okay, that's not right. That's not right. I'm not here to tussle or fight with anyone about what's right, what's wrong. Go complain to the girls. Don't come up here and shout at me. Because in some of these videos, people forget that this is entertainment and we're having a good time. We're having a laugh. Don't come and, peacock at me. Go shout at the girls. Okay? Don't come with your energy for me. Okay? So keep it where it belongs. But honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, why are you not dressed properly for this stuff? I think some of the stuff is cultural. Like in African culture, African people dress up for everything. We dress up for, going to church, going to the doctor, going to work, stepping out of the house. People look pulled together. You rarely find someone going to like their local supermarket looking a mess. I took today's Saturday, took my son out for the day. We went to the local supermarket. I pulled myself together. I put my hair in this Afro puff. I put on my lip combo. Put some like eyeliner on. This was early on today, and I put on a different outfit, and off we went to the supermarket. Like, we definitely take pride in that, and I'm not saying other people don't, because there are a lot of cultures in the world where people absolutely take pride. I'm just saying, for example, in a lot of non-Western cultures, like dressing up is seen as something very important. I think that at the luxury girls, luxury brands really do care about the way you look, because I think that they pride themselves on targeting people who look a certain way. Like the marketing teams of the top tier Paris, Milan, London, New York luxury brands, that when they imagine their top customer, they don't imagine someone wearing sweats every single day for the rest of their life. Or someone wearing trainers every single day. They imagine people who look very glamorous while wearing their products. So I feel like that's why they are weird about the way you look in the boutique. So tell me what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sign up to the newsletter. It's linked below. And also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to resurrect my TikTok, you guys. I need to resurrect it. I would post more on there if more of you follow me there. Post more. Please, please, please follow me over there, and then I'll post more. I think that's the best way to do it. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.